No.
Hey, Moose, it was our wedding day.
It was our wedding day.
Yes, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky.
No clouds in the sky.
Go on, maybe there. Go on.
Anyway, welcome everybody who's joining us on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live. Welcome. That's who I am. I'm Moose. Yep, that's right.
Yes, you are.
This guy right there, that's Magic Mike.
What's up?
And this is what we do. We get on here and talk and have a little fun. This is the pregame, though. We're not ready for the podcast yet. We got about 2-3 minutes before we start that. So enjoy some banter.
We're singing. We can sing.
Our singing.
You saying we can sing, or you saying we are singing?
Oh, I sing. I don't know. Maybe you don't call it singing. I call it sing.
Some people call it yelling.
Some people call it, that guy was just talking. He was talking.
He was talking in a melodic fashion.
Yeah.
Melodic. Oh, I like it.
Sorry, that was.
I like it. You just need to coin that phrase too.
Hey, on a little banter note here, I was sharing with in the work environment just shows that sharing a story about shows we used to watch. So I did a catchphrase from an old show. I said, "You got some explaining to do, Lucy."
And nobody.
And they looked at me like, "What? Who's Lucy?"
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, how about one of these days, Alice? One of these days, and crickets.
Really?
I'm like, okay. And then, like I even done like the Love Boat. Nothing at all. You know what they came back with?
I would have come back with this.
No, stop.
Yeah.
He's at 1450. 1450.
Oh, it doesn't look good.
No, and then the retort was, "Oh, I know Roseanne and Married with Children." I'm like, listen, you went like 20 decades too forward. Like I'm like, that's not, I Love Lucy, The Odd Couple, Sanford and Son, nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Maybe that might be, but yeah, that's crazy. That's
I don't know what y'all are talking about. So.
You got to know the classics, right? You must know the classics, Magic Mike.
They didn't know.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about. I am not that old.
It is.
They didn't know Knight Rider, by the way.
That's what everything else was. That's where it started. It came from that. Like I heard a story once or twice about I Love Lucy, about Lucille Ball actually, and saying that she's the queen of sci-fi because if it weren't for her, Roddenberry's Star Trek would have never gotten aired. And so she took chances on sci-fi films or shows. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Everybody today think that it's all new stuff. Like, oh, have you seen this? And you're like, yeah, I did that. We saw that like 20 years ago,
right,
when it first came out.
Yeah.
No, this is different.
No, it's different. Yeah.
So they also didn't know Knight Rider, by the way.
That's crazy. And that's been that's been reimagined a few times.
Yeah.
What they did know Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Like so yeah, I couldn't figure it out. And he said the only reason why he knew it was because of Dungeons and Dragons. He makes his characters
around
that.
Wow, that's not. You got to know it to know it. Come on.
Hey,
not because of D&D.
It was more than $15 worth.
I did try watching the Knight Rider movie again recently.
Hey, Mike, you went into a wind tunnel.
Your voice, you went into a wind tunnel. Your voice. Oh, look at there. Dave Sampson joins us. He advises me that the package finally arrived. There you go, Dave. Dave Sampson, the lawyer's lawyer.
Yes, the package has arrived.
The package has arrived. Could you just? You're not supposed to tell me. You're supposed to just mark the mailbox with the chalk.
Put the X on the side.
Yeah, just one X. I know what that means.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah, you sound good now. I think you sound good. Say something again. I'll tell you.
Hello.
Yeah, you sound better. A little delay, isn't it? But it's okay.
Yeah, it is a little delay.
Doesn't match up, but it sounds good. Oh, there it is. X.
It is the X. There's the X.
Got it.
There's the X. Right, it's good. Good.
Um,
and Moose. So did I. I don't need to put an X. It's just on the table.
It's just right there on the table. I see that.
It's just right there.
All right, well, enjoy that, Dave. I hope you enjoy it. There was some fun stuff in there. There's some serious stuff in there. As always, I put serious stuff in there. There weren't any catch-up packets. There weren't any wet naps, I don't believe. But there was serious stuff in there, so that was important.
Honey mustard or regular mustard?
And I hope he got the other serious stuff. So there was none of that. That's funny. Well, I'll have to. We'll. Oh, you read my shirt. I'll have to explain later, Dave. This is too much live, too much broadcast, too much out on the air. I can't discuss.
Quality care package for sure. Great coupon.
That's another one. See, Game God. I bet those same people wouldn't know what. Excuse me, sir. Do you have any gray coupon? Like.
Pardon me.
Yeah, pardon me. Pulled up next to a card. Pardon me. Do you have any gray coupon? You wouldn't know what that meant.
Back then. Yeah, commercials back then. How about the Mentos commercial?
How about rolling up going, excuse me, are those Bugle Boy jeans you're wearing?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Anyway.
Those are classics, by the way. Can you think of a commercial today that was that iconic that you can remember like that? Like today's commercial that's just like I could think of things like Red Robin, yum, like like all the catchphrase commercials.
That's a good one. I think Red Robin. That's a really good suggestion. I must tell you that I don't get much live TV for commercials, so I really don't know a lot of commercials anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
We are farmers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But those aren't even new, though. Really, neither one of those are even actually new.
You're really on a roll here. Give me one more, Game God.
All right. Now you put me on the spot.
Oh, okay, yeah. So is that Allstate or State Farm?
That's McDonald's. No, that's McDonald's.
Oh, sorry. Jake from State Farm. That would be my one. That would be my.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Red khakis and a red shirt. Okay.
State Farm. So yeah, or what was the other one? So yeah, McDonald's, but that's been around for a while. But there was another insurance one that was done. Peyton Manning did it, part of it.
Oh,
Allstate.
Allstate.
Wasn't it Allstate?
Yeah. Yeah, there is a tune for that. I don't remember because when he did it, I thought McDonald's or that one, the one you were thinking of, Moose, and I don't remember which one it is, which insurance it was.
All right, well, there you go.
It's just funny that you can remember these old tunes, right? Show tunes, or commercial tunes, and then that's what made them iconic. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we got a big one today, huh, Moose?
Yeah, let's get started. Let's move this thing along. Try to listen to you guys. That's
Wayne's World party time.
Hey, I got something for you. Did you know? Actually, we'll just get the show started, and then I'll play something for you. How about that? All right.
Okay. I'm with it.
Let's do this. Here we go. Halo series is out on Paramount Plus. Oh, Moon Knight. Don't forget Picard. Morbius came out in the theater. Did you go check that out? Or how about the deleted The Batman scene with Joker? Yeah, we're going to talk about that whole lot more.
According to Wikipedia, a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, obsessive, introverted, or lacking social skills. Many so-called nerds are described as being shy, quirky, pedantic, and unattractive. We're here to prove Wikipedia right.
Oh, look who they let in.
This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, gaming, movies, interviews, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, and here's your host, Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike.
Welcome to Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. That's right, yeah. Episode number 340 with the whole crew here tonight. Yeah, welcome back after a week off. We come back to talk about all the big things happening over the past couple of weeks. And there's a lot to get to. We'll try to condense it a little bit. We'll talk about every episode, but we'll throw in what we think of where we're at so far. Welcome back. Yeah, another week off. Magic Mike, you had. I can't believe it. I don't understand. Like you get how many vacations?
I got a lot of vacation. I got a lot saved up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, evidently so.
He's tenured. He's racked them up.
This guy's never left. He's never left.
Right. What is it? 6 weeks? So we're up to 6 or 7.
I've been here.
You gotta see that one, guys. You can't hear that one. You gotta see that one.
Yeah, that was it. Welcome everybody joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We appreciate you coming and joining and sharing all of your wonderful things. We'll have some new sound bites for you. They're not actually new at all. They're just now in a place where we can play them if we need to. There's always time to play them like on a transition, like we go from one topic to another. But I didn't want to do that. I actually just wanted to play one just right out the gate. Let's do that. Here it goes.
Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda, and Professor Newtonium, and Magneto, and a bunch of other things. And you're listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi. Cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. I appreciate that, Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda.
Speaking of bringing back oldies, that's a good one. I love it.
Exactly. Oh, I love.
You and I were talking about this, I think yesterday or the day before, something. How 2013 is when we started doing this?
Yeah, 2013. This podcast started. Can you believe that?
Oh man, I was talking about the ages at one point. I couldn't believe that piece.
Next year, it'll be 10 years we've been podcasting, guys. Can you believe that?
Are we gonna have like a cake with candles on it? And
yeah. You just gotta play. Yeah, come for the plane trip. That's what you have to do because it's not going anywhere. We all know who's paying for it, so you got to come here.
Listen. Can we do something like pre-recorded and just release it later?
We'll do a pre-recorded cake as well.
Yeah,
hey, we'll just green screen it in. How about that?
Not? Yeah, I can put a cake in the background, no problem.
Sure.
Where do we?
Fact, let's do it from the happy birthday.
No, I don't want to do it again. I want to do it once.
Yes, just once.
Where do we start tonight, guys? There's a list to choose from. I tell you what, Morbius opened. Let's start there. Morbius opened over the weekend, right?
On my mind, right there, right there. We're right there.
Last weekend, or was it this past week?
It was this. I think it was this past weekend.
Okay, so Morbius opened. I take it you didn't see it. Hey, Gene, how are you? Good to see Gene in the chat room there. Yes.
She said, "Bring on the cake. Let's go."
Yeah, let's do it. Game God just finished the last piece. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was good. It was delicious. It was buttercream, just so you know.
Buttercream.
Oh my goodness! I gotta tell you what. One thing, I think we would have been better off with cake than Morbius this weekend because that was the word in the street.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna cut right through the cake right here. So I want you guys to guess this record-setting Rotten Tomatoes score.
Record-setting.
Record-setting.
No way.
Wow. Well, here's
record-setting Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay, I'll give mine because I was curious. I hadn't seen anything
because you've
anywhere.
Looked yes. Go ahead. Continue on, Magic Mike. Go ahead.
I hadn't seen anything anywhere about Morbius, like on social media or anything popping up, and I was like, "Is it because I'm trying to avoid it, or have I not seen anything?" And so, with Game God's lead in, as he starts to say the cake would have been better on the street than Morbius, I'm going to guess like a 20 is what I'm going to guess for Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Yeah, you go shooting over the top, man. Jeez.
Oh wow. Let's see.
That's true.
I'm going to say, man, 20. That's pretty low, Magic Mike.
I know. Yeah. I wanted to be. That was in
31. I'll give 31. That's what I'll give.
31. Man, I want you to know something, Moose. Any day of the week, any given day of the week, I would have went with you on it, man. I would have went with you.
Yeah.
I want you to know that, right? Because it only got a 16.
A 16?
Oh my gosh. I thought I was low.
No, this has got to be crazy. Gene in the room said 45. Yeah, so she went a little higher than me.
16, 1-6 for the people who don't know. 16 for my bilingual folks out there. 16.
My question is how can it be so low? And is this the official or is this the audience score?
No, this is the official.
16. That's pretty
Wow.
good.
The audience score gave it a 70.
So 70. That's really
yeah,
big difference.
So I would imagine that's fanboy girl score,
Yeah.
people who really want to see that.
I mean,
so
that gap, that's huge. That's a 55, 54 point gap.
all right, so I'm gonna ask you guys, which score determines how much money came to the bank? So I'm gonna let you guess what was the opening weekend numbers.
Oh, jeez.
So now 16 from the tomato meter, 70 from the audience. Who pays for the ticket?
I'm gonna go. Here's what I'm going. I'm going with what Gene guessed there. I'm gonna go with like 45 million.
45 million opening weekend, 3-day weekend. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, but that's still, 45 is not a great opening weekend.
Okay.
I think Netflix has. Excuse me. I think Rotten Tomatoes has something going, right? I think Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to go with 16 to match the Rotten Tomatoes.
16 million. Hey, let me tell you something, Mike. On any other day that I wasn't agreeing with Moose, I would have agreed with you on this one. Okay? But I'm gonna split the difference here, and I'm gonna say 39 million domestic opening weekend.
Okay,
39 million.
That's
right?
not good.
That's not good at all. And by just for time purposes here, on overseas, it didn't do that much better. It did 44.9 million. So bringing in 84 million worldwide. 84 million worldwide. I want you to fathom that for a moment there.
Yeah, I did.
84 million. We get that in an opening weekend in like half of the United States on an MCU movie, right?
Yeah.
That's 3 hours on an MCU United States movie. Yeah,
we get that after a podcast.
That's true. That's true. I didn't want to say that, but all right.
That's right, Magic Mike. You're exactly right. Unbelievable.
There you go.
Pick a prize. Any of the toys, not the big ones on the top.
Not the big.
Reach in the bag.
Yeah, if you want to play again, you could have to pick big ones.
Yeah, you gotta play 3 more times for a big one. Hey, it's on a budget of 75 million. By the way, I just want you to know.
Really? Only 75?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why.
Listen. How much you think they're paying Jared Leto? He's the Wish version of Peter Parker.
Ouch.
Right.
Wow.
So I'm just saying.
Okay, let me ask you a question then, because this goes into, you know what? I'll save it for my Batman comment, which we're going to get to next year. This deleted scene of the Batman. So there's not really. So my next question, I guess, right now is: are you going to go see Morbius?
No,
no way,
absolutely not.
No way.
Just checking. Yeah, just checking. Okay,
I'm gonna wait till someone puts it on YouTube video and then put it in pieces. Just all the good stuff.
Which will probably be in about 2 weeks. So,
as a matter of fact, I don't even think I don't even think you can find a cam copy. I think they go, nah, it's not worth it. Don't worry about it. Can we just put?
We
it
just
out.
need somebody to watch it. So let's put it out. Listen, Venom came out to 90 million. The second Venom, and that wasn't that great. The first Venom came out to 80 million, and that was okay. The hype caught it in, right? The hype brought in the first one.
Is it just not a character? We all said, oh, at least I know I did. I said it looks more horror than anything. Although the last trailer, I said, it looks pretty good for a horror flick. I don't know about a comic book.
Better.
It didn't better.
I don't think you said it looked good. I think you said it looked better, and that's key because the first comment, which was you didn't care for it,
right? Well, is Morbius not relative to, like, people just don't understand the connections?
Yeah. I think it's bigger than that. I think Sony just needs to give it up. So Sony, I've seen a meme out there that had all 4 Sony films, right? Sony produced films on. So it was Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It was Venom 1, Venom 2, and Morbius, and none of them beat more than 80 million opening weekend. And they all had horrible Rotten Tomato scores. All of them. So listen, Sony, if you watch us, which they do, all right, Sony,
or listen to us,
you guys got to hang it up, man. Listen, sell to Disney, right? Get it over with. Get a payday. Get a Star Wars deal with stocks and options, all right, and call it a day, man. Call it a day. Get what you can, because that ship is starting to look like a raft. It's starting to look like at this point a little floaties, because you guys are not getting far.
Well, and to Moose's point, because I'm not even sure if Marvel could have done Morbius justice if what Moose is saying is accurate, which is it just too far out of bounds for most people that they're not that familiar with Morbius as a main character, and that may have been the case regardless of who had it.
Yeah, and so they've been better off going with someone else and then connecting a dot somewhere bigger. I mean, Venom is a bigger character than Morbius, and it only pulled in that. So how could you expect Morbius to do better?
Listen, I'm gonna make this transition easy for us here. All right, we talk about Morbius not being a big character. Morbius is not a huge name in the household,
right?
But then you have Moon Knight, right? And Moon Knight is not a big name unless you're a comic book person.
Okay,
and let's talk about how that did.
Okay, let's talk about it. So this is on Disney Plus, Moon Knight. It was one episode out. I think the next one is this week, I guess. What was your first impression, Magic Mike, of Moon Knight? Episode 1. No, I mean, look, let me just clarify here. If you haven't seen it, we're not going to ruin it for you. You had a week, but you're not going to ruin anything here because I got to tell you, nothing really happened. So, Magic Mike, tell me what.
Hey, Magic Mike, tell us. Hey, Magic Mike, tell us what you think. I just want you to know before Magic Mike speaks, nothing really happened. But go ahead, Mike. Tell us what you think.
Well, that's 100% true. And I'm not as familiar with Moon Knight as you guys, I will say it was okay as a show for what I know it to be.
Yeah.
But we didn't see anything special until the very last 5 seconds.
Was that special?
Well, what I'm saying is that you get to see the outfit, and that was like you're waiting for that. You are. But other than that, it was just okay.
Gene says it right there. It won't ruin it for me. I saw enough in the trailers. Gene, everything that happened in episode 1, you saw in the trailers. I mean,
you know what? You stole my thunder, lightning, and rainstorm.
Okay,
you're absolutely right. I felt like I watched all the trailers in series, like in a continuous series. Now, Mike, I'll let you finish.
Right order is all.
Yeah. Now I'll let you finish, Mike. I don't know if you were finished talking there, so go ahead and let you finish.
What else is there? That's it.
All right, good. Now I'll go. So I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit on the other side of the fence here with you. I thought this was actually, as much as we saw in trailers and as much as you guys, I agree with you, really didn't show much because we saw it in the trailers. I thought this was a great first episode, right? Really? And here's why I thought it was a great first episode. It's, for me, I do know who Moon Knight is, so I like what I'm seeing so far. I know they got the characters in a different order. You're not really seeing who we see in the comic book. The comic book, I think you do Mark Spector as the main guy, and the other two were the separate. But what I like is that it shows, just like every other series that Disney Plus has put out, that MCU isn't scared to go a little different, right? It isn't, and when I say scare, it's different. It's to Moose's point before the show, kind of looked kind of horror-ish, right? When you were looking at some of the Moon Knight scenes or the mystical pieces of the scenes. But Oscar Isaac sells it for me. He's if it wasn't Oscar Isaac, I might be on the same side as you guys. But because it's Oscar Isaac, he drives that character for me.
I need to butt in for just a minute because you say that they're not afraid to do something different, and then you're bagging on Sony for doing Morbius.
First of all, it's Sony. That's
but what I'm saying is you can't give Marvel credit for wanting to do something different.
Yes, I can. Sony hasn't proven itself yet.
It doesn't matter.
One has nothing to do with the other.
It does, because they're both not afraid to do something different. That's the reality.
James, you made the transition. Magic Mike's is following up. You
Listen, the transition is Sony needs to hang it up. Right? They haven't proven themselves. Period.
I'm not saying they have. My point being is they weren't afraid to try it. I mean, when you're going to put out a movie like Morbius, that is taking the risk. It really is.
Okay, so let's
hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to jump this in if you don't mind. The other part is that for me, it was Ethan Hawke that did it for me and his character.
Okay, Ethan Hawke was good. I agree with you. Two real standout actors. I just want to go back to the point where Sony tried something different and they failed at it. They tried it 4 times. All right, they did it with Venom. They did it with Spider-Man. They did it with Venom again. They did it with Morbius. When do you decide to say, hey, different isn't working for us? Let's just stick with the regular formula, right? So that's what I'm trying to say.
You want to review the Marvel TV shows that came out in the last year?
But what I'm saying is that all of them, in their own right, had some type of success in them in their own right. You didn't like WandaVision, but WandaVision was successful. I didn't care for
thank you,
Captain Falcon and Bucky Boy. but it was successful, right? So each one of those catered to a certain audience. Who's Morbius catering to? Because obviously 16% Rotten Tomato score and the opening weekend like they had isn't catering to anybody, but that's it.
I gotta get Moose's comment, and then I want to hear if you got Rotten Tomato score on Moon Knight.
I do have Rotten Tomatoes.
So Moon Knight for me was I thought the way that it was done was it was a really long build up. I mean, a super long wind up. I mean, this is like 30 minutes of all right. Are you ready? 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 Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Are you ready? Like, I mean, just come on, just throw the punch, will you? It was super long, and I got to tell you, as much as I like Oscar Isaac, I think that he did a fine job for what he did. But the way that it is written, I'm thinking, this is. I mean, we get it, and they're trying to lay down the premise. And I think that any character that you're introducing that isn't super familiar, even if it is super familiar, like Batman, they tell the story over and over and over again, like that we need to hear it again. And I guess I think there's a way of writing, and I'm not a writer. But I think there's a way of writing something where you're not having to tell a complete backstory.
Well, and to that point, Moose, I don't even think they even gave a backstory. No, it didn't feel like that. It felt like that they were just showing some stuff like, okay, this is who he is. And I would rather have had the backstory than this. I'm just saying. Because
I'm not saying that you didn't miss anything. If you didn't see it, you didn't miss anything. I would have much rather it started about halfway in and gotten more action at the end. For the second half of the movie than the first half with the the working bit and losing days. You could have done that in one scene, and I would have gotten it. You didn't have to repeat it over and over again.
Yeah,
yeah, and I guess that can go to the writing piece, right? There's only 6 episodes in this series, by the way.
Yeah,
right. And from what it stands right now, Oscar Isaac is only doing 1 season run. He's only signed up for 1 season. So whatever that he said, he only signed up for 1 season because he didn't want to have what's called the golden handcuffs and get stuck to something that may or may not work. So I get it, right? He can always pick up season 2 and 3 if the show's a success. So that doesn't really say much. But to your point, I think that you could have did it in 5-10 minute scene and call it a day, right? But I think that for me, it didn't take away anything from me. I think that I appreciated the take on it.
Take on it.
Yeah. So like one moment he's in a situation, and the next moment he's like, "What the heck just happened?"
I didn't mind that as much. It's just you can only do that. You only have to do that twice though.
Right. That's it.
That's true. That's true. Like how many times they did? 3, 4?
Maybe 4. 5.
Yeah, I think it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, it seemed like it was 12, but I think it was only 4 or 5. And I just think that. Like, okay, we get it. Ethan Hawke, I agree with. I think that was a bit overshadowed. I thought he did a great job.
Well, the best scene is probably in the town square. Where I think that was the best scene out of the whole first episode. Was that interaction there? What was going on? I think because at the end, like you said, we saw that ending sequence where he shows his costume, so it wasn't a reveal, right?
Yeah, right.
I think if they didn't show the costume reveal in the trailers, I think that would have been more epic. It would have been more of a aha.
I think that people wouldn't have tuned in if you didn't show these.
I agree. Yeah.
So you think they needed to?
Yeah. What's some numbers from Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomato, right off the bat, Tomato Meter gave it an 87.
Okay.
Oh,
see,
and the audience
artistic,
and the audience gave it a 94.
Wow. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't see 94 either. You're telling me that that's better than Spider-Man: No Way Home?
It's better than Morbius. Nah, Morbius.
No, that's not what he asked you.
Far From Home. What is it? Far From Home. No Way Home. No Way.
Far From Home. Yeah.
Far From Home.
There's a No Way Home and Far From
Way Home.
Both of them.
I forget. I don't know.
There's 2. Both of them were movies.
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
There's that one too.
Someplace home.
Spider-Man went home.
Spider-Man home.
Who's Spider-Man? Who's home?
This little piggy went to the market.
This little piggy.
No. So Spider-Man: No Way Home, 93 on the Tomato Meter, 98 on the audience.
Right. But so you're saying this was better than that?
Oh no, that's better on the other side. I see what you're saying.
No, both of them are better.
Yeah,
87. Yeah, so that's what I'm
So
saying.
you said 94 from the audience.
By a couple
and 98 on 98 on No Way Home.
Okay.
Well, I mean, once you get that close to the top,
Nah,
there's no more.
this is the thing that people are trying. You know, people are thirsty for new stuff. Gene says, and I agree with that. I think that's right. I just think there's a proper way of introducing it in a way that makes cohesive sense to the stuff that you already know. And if you don't already know it, it's a big gamble to come out and start something brand new. Like, you know, it's like coming out with I don't know. What was the Disney tried it with John
John Carter.
John Carter. Like, you know, just completely no. That one took a hit. So that's what I mean is people want new stuff, but it's very difficult to deliver on that when they want familiarity. I mean, they want to be familiar with something, so they have a background, so they have a basis. And I think I want new stuff too. I think I do. I think I'm okay with getting something completely brand new, rather than rehash the same characters over and over and over again. I'm okay with that. Yep. It's just got to be done right. And I guess that's
so the right for you is more action. Is that what you're saying?
Nope. Well, no, I don't think he's saying that at all. I think.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. What is the right? What was
too much time? They spent too much time bringing it up to, like Moose said, halfway into the show is when they should have started, and then carried out more at the end.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. You could have had another action scene somewhere built in to the end, and then lead off with, like I would have rather have ended on the phone call that when he found like I would have rather that. And then you go, what? Okay. I got to see episode 2. Like that would just make more sense of a cliffhanger for each episode.
Yeah, because we had action without action, which is what you were talking about, Moose. They kept, the scene would, all of a sudden everybody's on the ground.
Yes, exactly. Does that make sense?
I can see it makes sense, and I can see both. I was pleased. I was happy. I'm part of the 94% that of the Rotten Tomato score. I am curious to see how episode 2 goes. What are they going to show? Because I think we saw all the trailers at this point, so now this should be all new stuff for us. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work for us.
On that note, let's hear from some other sci-fi fans.
Hello, this is Rosalind Lutess. You are, were, or will be listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi. You could find them if you could find the tear at podcastforsci-fi.com. See you soon, or maybe I've already seen you. Or I has, was, or will be seeing you.
There you go. Yes, thank you, Rosalind Lutess.
She went to high school with me.
Did she?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Everybody went to high school with you. Let's talk about, speaking of new stuff. Let's bring in something like Batman deleted scene. That's something new. Now this is the deleted scene. It's about 5 minutes long. This happened between, spoiler alert, the Riddler and what's to be the Joker that happened in a jail cell that they didn't put in the movie. I'm actually surprised we see this so often rather than saving it for some kind of digital thing.
I like Jane's comment, by the way.
Yeah, Bridgerton. Yeah, it's it. That's right. So give me your opinion on this, Game God. What do you think of this 5 minutes, this long deleted scene to Batman that we didn't get in the movie?
So I watched it twice, and here's why I watched it twice, right? The first time when I saw it, I'm like, oh really? So the hype pulled me in. Joker? Yeah. So I watched it, and I watched it with hype, right? Okay. I watched it excited. And I think the excitement didn't let me enjoy the clip, right? So then I went back and I watched it again, and I gotta tell you, I'm kind of glad they left it out, right? And here's why I'm glad they left it out. One, I don't like the Joker that they got, right? Okay. That Joker for me, he doesn't sell it for me. I feel like he's, and I'm gonna coin this phrase because I use it a lot. I feel he's the Wish version of Heath Ledger, right? Okay. So he looked like he tried, just didn't quite make it.
I still am under the impression that it's Two-Face. I don't. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So and then the dialogue between it just didn't seem to make sense for me. So again, didn't fit the story. I think they left it out because it didn't make sense, and I think that they were trying to put it in there, but they couldn't figure it out. So I'm glad they left it out. And I hope that from this trailer or peak or whatever you want to call it, deleted scene, that they recast the Joker.
Magic Mike?
Well, that's a great point, Game God. Maybe this was a test, because I can tell you, to Moose's point, he makes a better Two-Face. He just does. His voice and his laughter is not the Joker to me. I'm sorry. I just don't feel it. I don't hear it. However, since we're just talking about the deleted scene, I enjoyed the deleted scene. I really did. Other than the Joker piece, because I felt like he was going in to talk to the Joker about another bad guy, like you might see if he had already captured the Joker at one point in time, which is what we're seeing, I guess. But it didn't change the movie for me. They could have put it in, they could have taken it out. I don't think it would have mattered for me for the movie. And so seeing this was just something cool and interesting. It didn't change my opinion about it. However, if they had put it in the movie, then they could have saved the end for a mid-credit scene, and that would have made more sense with the end credit scene.
That's a good point. I like what you're saying there. Although I would say that I fell asleep 4 times in the 5-minute clip because it's just I was just like, oh, please.
It was on and on.
Can we get to it? Can we get to whatever we're saying? And it just
what did they say?
That's kind of my point of going, what are you trying to analyze? Are you doing the analyzing? Is he doing the analyzing? What are we saying here? It just didn't remind me of any piece of Joker. Just did not. And so therefore, because they said it was Joker, I just did not like it. It may have made more sense to Magic Mike's point to the way that it ended. But at the same time, because I know it's Joker, I think it's ridiculous. Now, what is the Amazon version of Joker? So if he's the Wish version, take out Heath Ledger. Who else would you put in a serious role for the Joker and have a great go? This guy is going to be awesome. Who would you put? Name one person, 2 people, whatever you'd like.
And that's an on the spot. I wish I had my Rolodex open question.
I know, but this is why I wanted to bring it up this way.
So
anybody that comes to mind. I mean, just anybody. It doesn't matter. If you don't have anybody, say I don't have anybody, because I'm going to give you here in just a minute.
So
go ahead, Mike. Give me a second.
I was going to say I do have somebody who I think could play the Joker really well, but having said that, it's disappointing at this point. But yes, I would say Willem Dafoe would make a great Joker.
Now he would. Unfortunately, he looks so much like the Joker. I don't think that like he would be a great Joker. I think he would be.
Because I thought that I forgot his name. Who played the Joker in the movie Joker, just his standalone. I thought he might have done well. I don't know why I forgot his name.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, I thought he might have done well, but I didn't think he did. So sometimes it's hard to say who might do well. But I might vote as Willem Dafoe. But
Dennis O'Hare. Okay, he looks a little bit like a younger version or older version of Willem Dafoe, I guess you can say. A cousin.
So can
what do you got?
Can I tell you? So I love Willem Dafoe. I think that he has. You just apply makeup and you're probably good. I think you might hear the bad guy of Spider. I think you might hear a Green Goblin. You would. So that would be an X for me. But I like it. I wouldn't disagree with putting him in there. So here's my envision. I envision Joker being tall, slender. Now, are you with me here so far?
Yep.
Purple suit, right?
I think where I know you could go.
Long face.
We've seen it already.
Here we go. Long face. Hold on. Long face, right? Kind of kooky. Okay. Now let me tell you who.
I already know. Go.
Who?
Jim Carrey.
No. No. Taller than Jim Carrey.
Taller than Jim Carrey.
My pick is Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yes.
Think about it. Go ahead, Game God. Put on your thinking cap.
Could he be serious
running inside the wheels of your head right now?
Mm-hmm. Could he be serious enough when he needs to be?
I think so, but the Joker doesn't need to be serious. He needs to be kooky and conniving. And I think that Goldblum could pull it off.
I think he does have to be serious at some point. But I agree. I think Goldblum.
I think that's why he's the Joker. I don't think he needs to be serious. He needs to be laughter and he could be as tricky and mean, but just laughter and nothing gets under the Joker's skin. I mean, that to me, that's what the Joker was. Nothing got under the Joker's skin. Nothing. He didn't need to be serious. He always played. And so he never had to come deep down. Oh, Batman. Like it was just that, that.
Yep.
And I just think that's the way I see it. I mean, I just thought it'd be a good one.
What about if you see, I got a little bit of time there. The guy who plays Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård.
Bill
Skarsgård. Yes. No, Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you see if you
the new Pennywise, because the old Pennywise was played by
yes, the new Pennywise. Yeah. So and the reason why I say that, so if you pull him up when you get a chance, you might because you described long face, the pointy chin, right? Can get the hair pulled up, get it looking a little spiky, look crazy looking, right? And he's got the smile that creates the dimples and the chunky cheeks. So from a look perspective, he can look like a modern day version of an older looking Joker. Slender, purple suit.
I have to look it up.
Yeah. So I I don't know if he has the acting chops in terms of how you describe a Joker to be, kind of like nothing gets under his skin, cool, calm, because that truly defines a Joker.
But isn't that Jeff Goldblum? Like, the guy's cool, right? Yeah, man.
Yeah. But the thing is that for me, Jeff Goldblum is too cool.
Really?
Right? What? Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. So when I mean by too cool, listen, hear me out, because I see Magic Mike already want to throw his arms and touch both sides of his walls. Right? Listen, the reason why I say that is because I want to be Jeff Goldblum. Right? He's that kind of cool. Like, he's the cool that hey, I want to hang out with that guy.
Listen,
that guy.
It's an acting job, though. He can do it. He can do it, Daddy.
Oh, I'm not saying he can do it, but I see that from him. I see him as Billy D. Williams, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, I got you.
That's the kind of cool, and I need to see a sinister cool, like a cool that, like, to your description, doesn't let him penetrate him.
Let me help you. If you have any question at Jeff Goldblum's ability to be sinister cool, you need to go back and watch the original The Fly.
I was just going to say that,
because that guy was sinister cool in The Fly. And he says, like, for example, when he's there and he's changing, and she's like, "Oh, you're getting worse," and he goes, "I'm getting better." And that was like, yes, that's the guy you need right there. Anyway,
that would be interesting. I don't know if he'd take the role, but that would be interesting.
I think he should.
So, Gene, to answer your question, she asked, was he Floki in Vikings? So he was not Floki, but I can tell you, Floki is actually pretty cool.
That would be an interesting one. Yeah,
he just doesn't have the hair.
He was more bald, but that's a wig skin if you fix it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we put a wig on. But you can see from Floki's demeanor now. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. We take this guy Bill Skarsgård. I can't even say his name right. And we put so you know who Floki is, right, Moose? I don't know if Magic Mike Moose.
I do not.
And you take that crazy smart demeanor of Floki, and you put it on Bill Skarsgård. I think we're getting something here.
Yeah, but we're not putting two people together to make the Joker.
Yeah, I get that, but we're talking about,
yeah, I know
Floki.
I've seen
Floki was I like Floki. So you know who I'm talking about with Bill, right?
So the villain is really like Loki, so to speak. Like, he is the Loki of the Norse gods. I mean,
yeah, exactly right.
It is a lot like him. I'm not saying exactly like him. So please, no emails telling me that Loki like the Joker, but he is kind of. I mean, and but anyway, that's just my opinion on it. I think Goldblum would make a good one.
I like the opinion. I do like the opinion quite a bit.
And Goldblum could fill the suit easily. Yeah, easily. Slender, thin, and he could be as dark as they come. And he has a speech pattern. So you have William Shatner. You know how William Shatner is going to act when you see him in a movie. You know his speech pattern. He has a particular way he says things. Don't expect anything different. With Goldblum can pull that off too. And if he makes inflections in his voice, which he does occasionally, depending on the role, you could see where it's like, oh, this guy could sell it. Anyway.
Just like Heath Ledger did, I think you're right. I think he has those opportunities. He would have those moments to change that voice and to be slow or speed it up yeah, exactly. Lower it, raise it, whatever he needed.
All right, we got two things left on our docket tonight. A little extra long tonight, just for the folks because we were gone for so long. Let's get into Halo real fast. So Halo has a couple of episodes out, but let's just kind of focus or narrow our vision here a bit on just episode number 1. What's your take here? I'll start with Game God. He's a gamer.
Send it to Magic Mike. Send it to Magic Mike.
Okay, well, I was going to say the self-proclaimed gamer.
I know you were going to say that. Send it to Mike. I was trying to cut you off before you said it.
I know. It's like when Michael Jackson gave his title "The King of Pop." Also, Game God gave himself a Game God.
The difference was Michael Jackson was the King of Pop. That's the difference.
Well, it depends who you talk to, but okay.
I'm talking to you guys. So
potatoes, it's the same thing.
And to be fair, I pick on Game God for just that reason. But I did get a chance to play a couple of rounds with him recently, and he put in some work. I was very happy with the work that he put in.
Thank you, appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Magic Mike, what'd you think of the first Halo episode?
Okay, so I thought initially the CGI or special effects, what you call it, was a little lackluster for what
yes, we always flub that because we don't know what to call it. Yeah.
I know. But I thought it was a little lackluster for what it is. It's Halo, and so I felt like that we didn't get what I expected from that piece of it. And then to Moose's point about other shows we talked about tonight, I felt it was a little too slow. I don't want to see, because I guess what their idea is to get a new story based around Halo. I don't want a new story based around Halo. I want Halo. And so while I enjoyed it, it wasn't great for me. I didn't go, I got to see the next episode at all. I will, and I'll watch out the series, but it wasn't what I wanted or expected based on the commercials. And even having said that, I don't know how many times we heard the theme song. It wasn't it was maybe once or twice, and it wasn't even the original. It wasn't even the original. They changed it.
Yeah, it wasn't the original. I was kind of disappointed in that. give me that choir again at humming in the halls.
Right, exactly. I mean, I saw some of the weapons, which was nice. That part was cool. You saw some of the hog, the ships and stuff like that. That part was cool. But I wasn't impressed.
Wait a minute. I'm in the start menu right now. All right, Game God.
All right, so let me lay it on nice and thick like molasses. All right. Okay. So I turned it on. First of all, I want to tell you, I thought the pace was great. All right. I went in there.
You are all about slow paces. I love this. This is so interesting for you.
This is the complete opposite of typical Game God.
Yeah, typical Game God wants fast and yeah. Yeah, keep going.
So I thought the pace was good. I thought, we didn't just dive right into it. It was probably halfway through. We saw, the build up to it. You knew it was coming. We got to see the Covenant first, the elite soldiers. Right. I thought that was cool. I thought they were a little overpowered.
I definitely thought they were OP, but keep going. I love it.
I'm like, we're at the end of the stage. It's the last stage of Halo. Okay. We're gonna Tarantino it. We're gonna start at the end and come back to the beginning. I saw it. So I thought they were pretty OP. And so I'm like, okay, here's the buildup. And just like I thought, Master Chief comes out, start taking things down, and he came with friends. And I thought that was pretty cool too. So he brought the whole Halo Reach team. They call them the Silver Team, right? Was it Silver team?
Yes.
So I was excited. So I'm like, yes, I hit him with a sticky. I was like, and so and you had the good old assault rifle, then the pistol, even the deagle
pistol. Yes, yeah.
That even make a scene, right? So here's where it all ends for me, right? The last 10 minutes of the show, when he took his helmet off,
pulled the old man.
And for me, when they took it off, now I thought he was going to do the Mando where he took it off. Gave us a glimpse, 2-3 minutes. So that's all you're gonna get.
Or just see the back, right? Just see the back of his head.
Listen, this was the turning point for me. I said it before the show. I wasn't a fan of it, right? But I was willing to accept a 2-3 minute cameo. Here I am. Oops, there I go. Put it back on. You killed me when you made it the last 10 minutes of the episode, and he kept the helmet on, and he went through space, and he spoke. Everything Halo for me just disappeared. It became a sci-fi military movie, and I'm like, I'm done. Everything I saw in the beginning went to waste. It might have been a fan-made film that I could have saw on YouTube for 20 minutes and been okay with that. But once you took the helmet off as a Halo fan, you destroyed the franchise. Now you destroyed it. I would not lose any sleep if I don't see an episode more. I am that disgusted with how they ended with it. All right. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm disappointed.
All right, well, let me try to pick these pieces up off the floor as Game God has just shattered episode 1 of Halo. Pace was definitely a lot slower. I understand, once again, you got to build backstory. Now, again, I think most of people, period, tuned in if they're Halo fans. They're tuned in.
Yeah.
How many new people tuned in that's never seen Halo before? Who knows? But I can't imagine it was a ton. With that being said, he did take off his helmet, and then I thought I was looking into a mirror. I'm like, hey, it was just like me.
Chief,
it just didn't have his voice. That's a problem. His voice doesn't match up. Well, yeah. Anyway, there can only be one moose. And then
can only be one moose.
And we get him right here every Tuesday night. Podcast for Sci-Fi.
So now when it comes to the rest of the storytelling, I struggle when they put younger people into a series, a movie, and then I've got to save this person. Now it's different when it's Baby Yoda, because it's Baby Yoda. It's not like a young kid.
It's more believable.
It's sci-fi. Yeah, exactly. If you're going to go for it, go for it
all the way.
But again, this is to your point. It's like a new story, all in, because I'm like, this is not the story. I wanted to see Halo story.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Cortana bit. It's just I told you from the beginning I wasn't a fan of it. Game God, you said you were. You said, oh, Cortana, that's okay. I'm good with it. I said, I just didn't like it. We'll wait to see how that turns out.
I do want to, Mike. I'm gonna let you talk. I do want to circle back to the story piece, but
please. Go ahead with it.
So, Mike, I don't know what you're gonna say there, but the story piece. This is not the Halo story.
No, right?
It's not. No, that's why I said that's what I was talking about. Where they're going a new direction. They're bringing in new Halo.
So just to put it in a 3 or 4 sentence paragraph here, Spartans knew they were going to be Spartans, right? They were taken from their homes when they were 6 years old. They knew who they were. They knew who their family were. They were trained, and they were trained to be soldiers, right? In this series, they're trained to be autonomous machines with no memory, and they're just a weapon.
It makes
no
sense.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Well, and to go along with it, the Spartans are bad people. They play them out to be they're bad. They're to a certain group of on the planet there,
right? Yeah,
right. That they're coming to destroy they're bad. Spartans are bad. And they have to break away from this mind control that's held over them, and that's not true. And here's what we haven't, Moose, you kind of talked on. I wanted to save it till I could come back again, and I gotta tell you, the voice is a big issue for me.
Yeah,
and you had said it once before in a previous podcast where they should have done Downs with the helmet on, and then when he takes the helmet off, it can be Pablo, because you can say, well, it's the microphone and the helmet. There's something you can justify that, but you got it. Your Master Chief's voice. It makes a huge difference for me, because I didn't feel, and to Game God's point, once I heard that voice, and I knew it was coming, but once I heard it, it felt like it was just a regular sci-fi movie.
Yep.
Listen, I like Pablo. I like Pablo as an actor. I've seen other movies of his. I think for what he acts as, I think he's doing a great job, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's of the epic proportions of a Master Chief. And that's the problem, right? You have to put someone who's going to stand tall, and you can say, that's Master Chief. That's Master Chief.
Yeah, that guy can fill in on a podcast, but he can't fill in for Master Chief. You know what I mean?
I don't think the producers or whoever wrote it thought that it was that big of a deal. That's the problem.
Well, and here it is. The other piece for me is, and I know you guys probably agree with me on this, Master Chief is is epic. He's godlike, right? He comes in. I remember the end of Halo 1 and how the whole Covenant and the Flood and everybody was chasing me, and I'm in my Warhog jumping over things, and going over there. Master Chief with his battle rifle, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, they're not gonna kill me. I'm gonna make it, right? I look at this guy. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know. You look like you're the drill sergeant.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, my guy might be taken out. Is he wearing a red shirt? Is he wearing a red shirt?
He don't even have the power shield. Like it's just like
exactly.
Well, that's the thing. So when you heard that in the series, that was pretty cool. I was like,
that was
all right.
So you had a bunch of cool
little elements here and there, but not enough altogether. I will say that Game God, when you're talking about that, they seem to OP. I thought they did right off the bat. I mean, they just split people in half. And I'm like, whoa, hey, whoa, what's this? What's going on?
Ease into it.
I'm like, wow, I've fired that weapon. It doesn't do that.
So it takes at least half a clip to get the shield down.
At least.
That's right. Yes, it takes a lot longer than that.
So,
man, I want that weapon.
Certainly I give it another chance. I was disappointed not to hear the original soundtrack in the movie.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed that we didn't focus more on. I think that we could have left elements out. Like, I don't think we need to destroy a city again. I think you could have told that whole story, because I wasn't a buyer for the father and I wasn't a buyer for these other people. They're like, you didn't take it long enough to sell me on it. But beside that, you didn't have to sell me on it, because I'm sold on Master Chief, not the people in this town.
The acting horrendous.
Well, Moose, you make a great point, Moose. Sorry, Game God, but I have to, because when you say it like you said it, that makes sense to why we didn't enjoy it. And that was, the show was more about the town and the people versus the Spartan or Master Chief, which the story for Halo is around Master Chief.
Right off the bat.
Him and Cortana, that's who it is.
Yep, exactly.
And then the last piece there to kind of round it all about, right? So the Covenant, whoever's leading the Covenant, it's not a human. It's not a human. Right, guys. It's not a human. So don't put a human in the role. Right? The Covenant would never.
No, that's the whole
directions
purpose.
From a human.
Exactly.
They would never take directions from a human, and whether she's secretly hidden, and
doesn't matter.
Even
the impression that exactly.
So the elders ran the show. And the elders was answering to her, so I had a problem with that as well, and it just doesn't make sense. Why call it Halo?
That's the thing. What you should have called it was Halo, like
the extended tales.
Exactly. Halo, the Rebel Wars, like something different.
Tales from the Halo crypt.
Don't put Master Chief in there. Don't put these things in there, but put somebody else. We talk about new content. Well, you could have had new content with a new storyline, but don't put Master Chief in there.
You remember when they did the Halo 1, 2, and 3, and then they did the spin-off Halo Reach? This is Halo Reach.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. The one that failed. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you did 1, 2, and 3, everybody's like, yes. 3 wasn't that great. 3 was starting to fall off. We're like, we're good. Leave it at 3. No more. Don't get no more. And someone in a boardroom said, hey, let's do Halo Reach. Let's add 4 more Spartans and let's make it multiplayer, right? Let's make it a multiplayer story. And then destroyed the game, right? Destroyed it. They had to rebuild it. And I don't know if they even got all the way back, right? This is what that was, right?
Well,
it should have been a spin-off that had a Master Chief cameo that kind of said, oh, Master Chief's in it?
If you would have, Steve Downs could have done the voice.
Yes.
You would have had a big guy there, some big guy in the Spartan uniform, and you would have been happy to get him just for a moment to issue direction or whatever. The same way we were happy when we saw Darth Maul in Han Solo. Like you would have been excited about it, and then you would have said, okay, but then you would have gone on. So I completely agree.
In closing here, the Halo we got for episode 1, you might as well have done a show Destiny, and I probably would have watched that more than the Halo.
You're probably right.
So
you're probably right. Didn't live up to what Halo it really is for us. Now, last question for
on the Rotten Tomato.
How many?
68 on the Rotten Tomato.
That's not good. Just real quick, do you think we'll see more Halo in or any Spartans in cosplay like we did a few years back? Do you think we're going to see a resurgence of that?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I will.
Let's revisit after episode 2 and ask that question again.
What?
Okay, all right, we can do that. And will they take their helmet off? All right, let's move on to final pieces of Picard, because it's been a few weeks since we talked about Picard. I don't know where we left off. I think it was like episode
2 or 3. I don't remember.
It may have been 3, but I think it was 2. Where are we?
We left off before they hit Earth.
Okay, so that we did 1 and 2.
So how do you feel it's gone so far? Let's start with Magic Mike here. Let's start with Game God, because Game God, I know that Magic Mike's going to follow him with some great content. Yes, and he's going to reference DS9 at least 3 times. No,
DS9 2 times, TNG once.
Okay, all right. Game God, what do you think? Where do you think Picard is on your scale here as we're moving forward? What's your impression?
Hey, they're losing me, man. They're losing me, and they're losing me fast. You guys called it. I gotta say, I'm not gonna say who called it. I'm gonna give credit to both of you guys. You guys called it when they went to Earth. Oh man, it wasn't Star Trek anymore for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't Picard. It was Earth 2024 with cameos of Star Trek. So it just didn't do it for me. And it's as it goes further and further. We're covering all the episodes currently. Is that what we're doing?
I mean, because you can reference them however you want. Yeah.
His what is this? His daughter? Is his niece? Somebody related to him?
His aunt.
Is the turning point in this thing, and I'm like, how did I not see this coming? Right? Like that's how I felt. I felt like I was bamboozled. Like I was like I should have known that it was going to be somebody in his bloodline that was going to affect the story, right? And on top of that, what bamboozled me even more, right, was that how do I not see that Q was pulling the strings from the get-go and manipulating the whole timeline? Like I actually thought it was going to be something different, and I'm so disappointed because I had high hopes that this was going to carry out through the whole series. I don't like what they're doing with the Queen. I don't like how they're manipulating the Doctor. I think the episode to me has gotten too wide, and I don't even know what they're doing anymore. So I'm lost. Go ahead, Mike. Tell me how great the show is.
Well, this is where Moose and I had talked about. It wasn't just going to the past. Going to the past is fine, but we talked about how many episodes are you going to do it. If you do more than 1 episode, it's rare that you can you can keep it going and keep it going well. And they're proving our point right now. I mean, it's been what? 3? They're either 2 or 3 episodes, yes. And I called 2.5 to 3 episodes is when they'd go back. It looks like the rest of the season is going to be in the past. Yep. And that's a horrible decision because we've seen there's been a couple of things here and there, like the Dixon Hill reference that they mentioned for TNG.
Well, they did Dixon Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the TNG. That's the one. That's the TNG, one from TNG guy.
Yeah. That was okay. And then we see a younger Guinan, which is why?
I don't even understand it. It just makes no sense to me.
There's no point to it at this time because she doesn't know anything what's going on. You can't see that she does know anything or that she could know anything or she will know anything. So we don't see any of her powers or who she actually is. So there's no point to her being in there at all.
Zero.
And going in through this, it's not, I wouldn't say they've lost me in terms of the season just because it's Star Trek and I'll still watch it through and it's Picard, but which was good, by the way. But having said that, this is not enjoyable. And I don't know about Game God saying he doesn't like what they're doing with the Borg Queen, because we see that this is who she is, the Borg Queen, and she's going to try to manipulate the Doctor. That is her goal. That's what she's going to do, and that's who she is. She manipulates people so she can get in and assimilate them. But it's not great. What's that?
They killed her.
The Borg Queen? Yes, they. Well, okay, so we're going to talk about the details. So yeah, okay, we see that happens. But we also see, to talk about the details, that the Doctor, she's not alone. She has the Borg Queen with her. And so the body may be dead, So there's still more to go. But they've taken way too far, too long in the past. They should have ended it 2 episodes ago, come to the future, and just started going forward. This is not going to end well, I don't think, at all for this. And they plan on doing what, 3? I think.
3. Yeah, another season for sure. Yeah. Oh man, where do I start? It's incredible how much the bad guys are the bad guys in 2024. It's ridiculous the bad guys in 2024. I guess that's what I'm getting to. And then you have the Watcher, who I go, what is this? What is going on? Q goes back and Picard. So it's
getting messy.
I hate that it's not only getting messy, but everything's connected. Oh, this is connected over here. Oh, look, it's your elder. Oh, look, it's your aunt, your cousin's sister's mother's cousin. Like, what? Wait a minute. Why couldn't it be anybody? Why couldn't it be Cochrane? Like Cochrane was nobody. You know,
right?
That's what I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see that guy who invented the warp. Like, that's the guy you want to see who changed something, not a Picard's aunt who happens to be a astronaut. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Who happens to be going to therapy with Q?
With Q,
right? With Q, who's losing his power? Who we see him lose his power?
Yes,
which is not new, by the way.
That's not new, but it's crazy that we're even revisiting the same thing that we saw previously from TNG. Second reference. And it's ridiculous that we're rehashing the same old stuff again. Now, I don't know if I'm elated or interested to see Britt Spiner in there, playing Noonan Sung,
the original.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh wow, is this where we need to go again? Like
hey,
we have seen.
Can I interject that? Can I interject there, Moose, for just a quick second?
Yeah,
I was like, is Q playing this guy too? I was like, for a second, I thought it was Q. I had to go, that guy looks familiar.
Everybody's going gray hair, man. It's crazy. It's a thing of the past. Let's go back. Let's go check it out. Anyway, I just don't. Where's the new content? I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I wish they do different things. That's all I want. I want something familiar, but I want something new. And that's what they're trying to do, but it seems like we're just rehashing old storylines from TNG. And
it's getting predictable.
What's that?
So it's getting predictable, right? Because we see Soong's daughter
again.
The android in the future. It's the same actress. It's the same person.
Which is kind of cool, but not cool at all. Not cool at all.
Right, exactly. Because Q's changing the timeline because he gives them the technology to heal her, and it's like, so is Q the one who starts the whole TNG? This is where Star Trek comes all together from Q originally. He's the birthplace of Star Trek. It's like, come on,
the Godfather of.
I will say, so it's funny to see because in this you had a panel of these people there that Dr. Soong was talking to. And he's speaking to them, and the middle person, she should look familiar. That was Leah Thompson.
Yes,
you guys familiar? Yes. She also directed the episode, and I thought, now I don't know. Or say the episode, the last episode, and I'm like, wow, this is where we're at now. We this is where we're going.
Celebrity directors.
I don't mind celebrity directors, but it seems like it's that way in a lot right now, doesn't it? Even Star Wars. Yeah.
Well, so I mean, there was a lot going on with that episode. I feel like I think there's 6 episodes of this. Is it 6 or 10? One of these shows is 6. Is it Moonlight 6? I'm confused. It says 6 somewhere, right? So I brought up something off the air, and I was gonna bring it back up on the air here. And so I watched all these episodes, caught up. I binged it because there was like 3 or 4 I need to watch, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? Let me go back to Discovery. Let me go back to Discovery because in my head I'm like, man, Discovery felt like it was better than what's coming out of Picard at this point, right? So I go back to Discovery. I kind of figure out where I was at. I was like, I watched this, I watched that. Okay, I got it. And I caught the latest episode, and I watched how they do the recap. And I watched the recap, and I was like, now I remember. I'm good. And so I did not watch the episode, just to say. And this is, I know we started with a lot of hype. Remember the first episode, Picard, even the second episode, Picard, which even had its moments. We were like, this should have been season 1. And you know what? As I look now, I'm getting through the season. I'm like, I'm glad season 1 was season 1.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think this.
And I'll tell you something, Game God. I'm afraid. I think this is going to have 10 episodes. There's no way they could wrap it up in 1 episode, which tells me that we're going to be stuck in 2024 for a lot longer than 1 episode, than 2 episodes.
Yeah, looking at, they'd have to end the season being stuck in 2024.
Exactly.
Well, it looks like they're in 2019. It doesn't look like 2024.
Listen,
I'm like, man.
As much as I like seeing Q again, as much as I like seeing these things, I just think, this might. The way that they're doing it doesn't sound like it's going to be the case.
Listen, at this point, I would have loved to see Evil Picard. I enjoyed that episode more.
By the way, Jean-Luc, he's getting old, brother. He's getting old. He's
looking fragile. He ain't moving like he used to.
Listen, everybody, thanks for joining us. We enjoyed it tonight. I'll speak for the fellas because it's been a couple of weeks, and certainly we will be back next week to do it all again. Listen, stay up on your sci-fi because we're going to continue to talk about it. I like what Gene says. I like Star Treks with uniforms, not just the black ones, baby.
I was just leaving.
Nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert.
You've been listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi with Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike. Nerds have more fun. If it's anything sci-fi, we're talking about it. We had fun, and we hope you did too. We have to split, but we'll be back soon. In the meantime, hit us up at podcast4sci-fi.com. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Come to life.